Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be covering a case about two young 13-year-old boys that went missing in Vancouver, BC, Canada in 1989. They went missing 37 years ago, and it's very upsetting and sad that their case was never really covered. I had never heard about these two beautiful boys ever, and they definitely didn't get the attention that they deserved. And there is still posters, missing posters up of them around Stanley Park, and it's just quite unsettling that once again that these two boys were so failed and they did not get the attention that they deserved. So that is a huge reason why I want to cover this case tonight, because first of all, I want people to know their names and who they were. And although I couldn't find a lot of information about them, unfortunately, partially because it was so long ago, I want to bring their names up, and I want to tell some of their story and maybe find out some information about them and what had happened to them. All right, so their names are Ramsey Rue and Kenneth Lutz. These are them, these two beautiful boys that went missing. They're 13 years old at the time. This again was in 1989. All right. So this is the disappearance of Ramsey Rue and Kenneth Lutz. It refers to the tragic case of these two 13-year-old Indigenous boys who went missing from a foster home in Burnaby, BC on December 15th, 1989. The boys' cases were initially treated as them being runaways. However, a decade later, their skulls were discovered in Stanley Park, confirming that they indeed had been murdered. The disappearance of these two boys, basically the details are that the 13-year-olds were thought to have ran away from their Burnaby home, which was their foster home, and they had told friends they intended to head to Saskatchewan, leading authorities to categorize them as runaways, and they basically did no investigative effort, or little to none, initially into locating them. They just considered them runaways and they pushed it off. In 1995 and 1998, their skulls were found in the brush in Stanley Park. The discovery prompted police to realize that these boys had indeed been murdered, rather than just simply missing or simply running away. These murders to this day remain unsolved, and once again, it has been 37 years. And I don't think a lot of people have heard about this, and I just find that so sad, so unsettling, so maddening. And I'm going to ask the cards tonight a little bit about these two boys that deserved much more than what they got and what happened. And I really pray that they will get their justice. And yeah, so okay, I'm going to ask the cards about Ramsey Rue and Kenneth Lutz. Who did this? Who did this to Ramsey and Kenneth? Who murdered Ramsey and Kenneth? Let's get a card to explain in the picture, or in a card that I would understand, of who did this to these two poor boys. One card only, let it fall out or pop out. Who did this to them? King of Cups. My first thought when this came out is it's a man. It's a man who did this to them. And it makes me think of some type of authoritative figure over them. Don't ask me why. I just see it as someone that was known to them. I think that there was emotion involved in this. I think it was an authoritative figure. I think it was someone, obviously an adult, a father figure. I don't know for a fact if I would go as far as saying it could have been who they were in foster care with, but I feel like it was someone that there was like an emotional connection with. I almost don't think this was a complete stranger to them. And I'm just going to look at this a little more. I think they followed whoever this was because they trusted this person, or they thought they could trust this person. I just keep going back to this emotional tie to whoever this man is. I'm just going to look at what's at the bottom. The Three of Wands is at the bottom here. And the first thought I get from this is like following whoever this is, but it's almost like in a running away way. Like I kind of am picturing this as their home, and they're, you know what I mean? Like a ladder, getting out, running away. But also I see it as like, follow me, follow the leader, follow whoever this King of Cups is. So I wonder if it was somebody that they had trusted or had gained their trust. I'm not completely ruling out it's not someone from their foster home, but I feel like it was some kind of emotional tie and they felt comfortable following whoever this King of Cups was. I'm going to get another card on the King of Cups. I just want a little more information on this King of Cups, of who he was to them. Who is this King of Cups? Can we just get some clarity with a card of who was this King of Cups? One card only. Who was this King of Cups to them? Let's let a card fall out. Who was this King of Cups to Ramsey and Kenneth? So the Eight of Swords comes out. Again, I feel like it was someone that they had grown to trust. And in this imagery, it's interesting because it almost seems like they're scared to go home and they're hiding out. And it's almost like maybe this person befriended them while they're away from home. I know that sounds strange. Like at first I'm thinking it's somebody close to them, but it could have been somebody that gained their trust when they had nowhere to go. The reason why I'm saying that is I see this poor kid just sitting there and it's like hopeless. There's just hopelessness in this card to me. And again, I just keep thinking like they've met this person when they were away from their home. So it could go with the theory of them running away and maybe somebody befriending them or falsely befriending them. Yeah, and then the Four of Cups is at the bottom. So in this card, it's a little different than the traditional tarot that I usually use. And in that one, you see this hand coming out of clouds, like just offering this cup. And again, I'm just feeling like that's what this is. It's like somebody, they're alone, and somebody comes along and just offers them this, and it's kind of like, well, what else do we got? We have to take this person up on this. Just gonna look at this card for another moment. Yeah, that's just what I feel like this is based on the Eight of Swords card. Can I get one more card? I just want to know, why did this person do this to Ramsey and Kenneth? Why did this happen to Ramsey and Kenneth? One card only. Why did this person do this to Ramsey and Kenneth? It's weird. In another reading, I got the same card when asking why this happened to someone. And even then, it puzzled me because there's so much going on in this card. And it's crazy too, because I have the King of Cups, now I have the Knight of Cups. And I'm asking, why did this person do this? And I remember in the other reading, I thought of it as they were in too deep of something. But it doesn't really explain like why. I don't know, maybe they did see something they weren't supposed to see. Like, I don't know. This is crazy. This is just insane, because these were the same cards I got when I read for the other video I did of Lindsay Buziak about why this happened to her. And the way I read it was like, basically they didn't want this person to talk. So now I'm starting to wonder, was this something that happened in the foster home? That they saw something that they shouldn't have seen or something like that, and they were trying to escape but they couldn't? This is so puzzling to me, because to be very honest, I would read these the same way I read for the other video for Lindsay Buziak, that it was a possibility that they heard something or saw something, they got too deep into it, and the person silenced them. I'm going to get one more card on this just to see if we can get any clarity. Why was this done to Ramsey and Kenneth? Can I get one more card just to clarify the Knight of Cups? Why did this person, this evil person, do this to Ramsey and Kenneth? What was the reason behind it? Or what did they know? Or like just any information. I've had two cards fall out, and I'm going to just read it. So I have the 9 of coins, and I have the 8 of coins. The crazy thing about this, the first thing I just noticed about it is 89. This is when this happened. And I don't think that's a coincidence that that's coming up, because I think it's just telling the story about it. So this is really interesting, because I do think it's telling the story about this. And the thing that pops into my mind, now that I'm pulling more cards about this, I think it does have to do with whoever was taking care of them in the foster care, because it's almost like maybe they knew something that was happening. By looking at these, it's like I'm seeing this person's doing so horribly wrong in all these conditions, but this person is prospering over this. And I keep thinking about it, and I'm wondering, because it is Pentacles, was it that the foster parents were getting money in for these kids, and meanwhile these kids were suffering? And the reason why this is what I really think this was, and that they had seen something in foster care, or they were threatening to maybe tell, is because we have the 10 of Cups at the bottom. Now the 10 of Cups is like a family card. So for me, this is talking about the family. This is talking about the family here. This is talking about what happened in 89. This is talking about the suffering that was going on behind the scenes of what looked like a prosperous place, but this is what it really was. And like, you see, there's like this same garden, same place, and here's this man, he's doing so well, and yet here's this other person here in pain, suffering, hurting. And it looks like just similar cards, and then you have the family card at the bottom. So I'm starting to wonder if they ran away, but they went back home and something was done to them, or they were out somewhere and someone did something to them. But I really feel like this is all coming back, and because I'm asking why it happened, it's saying they were in too deep, they saw something, the person silenced them. I really truly think this is something about their foster care. I don't know if they had someone do something to them from the foster care, but I feel like this, what happened to them, because this is the underlying energy, whoever did this to them, it's because of the family home. It was someone to do with their family that did this to them. Okay, so I'm going to just pull one last card because I feel like I want to know, will this case ever get solved? Will Ramsey and Kenneth ever get justice and this case be solved? Patience. Patience. So it's possible, but if it is, yeah, I think if it ever does, it will be somebody that comes along maybe in the police force and does a lot of hard work, a lot of digging. I think it will take a lot if it does ever get solved. But what this card is saying is patience. Patience for it. And if it does, it'll be solved by somebody that comes in, starts working on a cold case, and he or she, but I think it would be maybe a he, will work really hard to find out what happened. And I really pray and hope that this does happen for these boys, because they deserved so much better. They deserve so much better. And I pray for their souls. I pray that they have peace. And once again, they deserve so much better. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you just for listening to the story about Ramsey and Kenneth. And I wish everybody a good night, and I will see you again for the next case that I cover.